Alright y'all, first things first, we're going to start off with the Andes Master no guard with the lever closed. We're going to make our first guideline. Now whether you're doing a drop fade, a low fade, mid fade, high fade, shadow fade, whatever the case may be, this first guideline is going to be very essential for the flow and the shape of whatever fade you're trying to do. So in this instance, you can't really see the back of his head, but I'm dropping that first guideline down and around, kind of forming a horseshoe U shape, and that's kind of how you get that drop fade, mid fade type of look. But whatever fade you're doing, that first guideline is going to dictate the shape and the flow of the fade. So hopefully you guys are noticing and appreciating these little diagrams that are popping up. That line is indicating where the guideline needs to be on the head. I'm also telling you guys what guard I'm using and the lever position. My fading technique really hasn't changed a lot over the years. I still make my guidelines with the lever open, and then I come back down with the lever closed and knock out the previous guideline. I'm not going to fade all the way up using guards. You guys will see on the other side of the head, I do use thinning shears to blend the fade part into the wave curl part. I don't know really what to call that, just the waves up there. I'm going to use thinning shears. I couldn't use it on this side of the head because my hand would be in the way and the camera would be all out of focus, but make sure you watch the other side of the head to see how I blend the top portion of this fade. Now, if you guys remember, I did always used to start my fade using some type of Andes T-out liner, some type of balding liner. I would put a harsh bottom line in, and then when I'm done with the fade, I would try to bump out the bottom line. And that's why I switched over to using no guard lever closed for my first guideline, because when I'm done with the fade, all I have to do, as you guys can see right here, is bump out the remaining hair under the fade, and the fade's done. And that's why I highly suggest you start your first guideline lever closed on whatever clipper you're using. So moving on to thinning shears, I recently, probably like 6 months ago to a year ago, started using thinning shears. I always used to use clipper over comb technique, and that's a lot more reckless. When using thinning shears, it's a lot more personal because it's your manual strokes. You know what I'm saying? It's coming from your fingertips. You control each stroke with the thinning shears, and not only that, I feel like it gets more buttery blends. Clipper over comb is a great technique if you know what you're doing, but for starters, I highly suggest you start using thinning shears. Your fades will be a lot more smoother and a lot more safer. And really all that's left before we put that lineup in is to knock down his waves. These aren't really waves, it's just straight hair that's pressed down, creating some type of wave look. But one thing about straight waves, you have to use a bigger guard because it is longer hair. But when the hair is longer like this, you have to use a bigger guard. That's why we started with the number 4, tested it out, and then we ended up doing a long number 3. So next up, we're going to spray some hairspray all around the hair to lock this into place. And this is very important when you're lining up straight waves. Any hair that you want to lay down, you really want to lock it in place with hairspray. And it makes the lineup a lot easier. Those hairs will not move. You hit it with the liner and you're good to go. So as you guys can tell, his eyebrows are bushy, and the perfect guard I've experienced for this is a number 1 guard with the lever open. Number 2 guard is a little bit too long. A number 1 guard closed is a little bit too short. So a number 1 guard open is perfect to remove bulk from eyebrows, and then just a simple shape up of the eyebrows goes a long way. And last but not least, we're going to apply a thin layer of hair fibers to fill in the gaps of the waves. Whenever someone has straight waves, there's kind of a little bit bald spots in their lineup area because the hair doesn't actually grow right there. You're kind of laying down longer curls to create this wave look, so it kind of leaves gaps in the hairline. So hair fibers, hair dye, whatever you guys want to use nowadays, it's perfect for that. And last but not least, we're going to spray some type of hairspray to lock in the fibers and the waves so they don't move. And then I'm going to grab a neck strip to kind of lay down any excess flyaway hairs. But that's really it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. New video coming up in the next couple days. I'll see you guys then.